you can't have it all.
Life is peaks and valleys. It's a constant up and down, but the key is really acceptance and knowing that's how it works.
I wouldn't have gotten to a chronic place with my pain if I didn't work myself the way that I did. It depleted my body to a point that my pain was like, hello, listen.
You get addicted to the success and you got to keep trying to get more sponsors. You got to keep trying to
And it never goes away.
Seeing your AdSense numbers go down. How did you deal with that? I put in so much effort with Moon and it was like hard.
And I thought it would be more from the heart and it just wasn't. It was like literally like wiping up puke.
It pays off.
Yeah.
That a mom, dad, and son named Moon get a girl named
Love.
No.
You stole our name!
I love it. Let's go.
What's up, bro? All right, so Andrew actually was here for a few days. He was at Mr. Kate's place setting up. And so he's basically best friends with them. We're just heading there now. It's gonna be a little bit of a different setup as we're sitting at a table, but we trust Andrew. He said it's gonna work. The studio looks amazing.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you so much for having us, guys.
Thank you.
Here. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, wow,
Oh, I'm
good
glad I'm
job.
waiting because it's the perfect temp to taste the nuances. Wait, what is this?
Are you a professional actress?
Funny ass.
No, not anymore. I just fake it on YouTube now.
I feel like I wanted to start by just complimenting you both.
Oh.
I have the Daphne bed.
Oh, do
What?
you?
Sorry. I have
Yeah.
it in my cart.
Do you?
I have it in my
need to
cart.
send you a retargeting email?
By the way, we can just send you one.
What can we do to put you over the edge as a customer here?
No. It's in my Wayfair cart because we're redoing our studio space, but we haven't gotten to the bedroom. But it's what I'm
Stop
She
buying.
it.
would have
We
bought
will-
it, but then it would have been in
And
our
I had-
podcast.
Well,
set.
now we're sending you an obvi. We will trade tea bags for sofas.
Okay, well, I just want to say that I had no idea it was yours.
Oh,
Which I think is
wow.
even
That is
cooler.
cooler.
That's why it's a compliment. I was like, this is dope. The price point is dope. We need this.
Oh,
and
that's so great.
yes.
Thank
And then
you.
I'm like, this is Mr. Kate furniture. Oh my God, we're going to be talking to Mr. Kate. And I just deep dove into what you guys are doing, how you've shifted, pivoted. It's so inspiring.
Aw.
It's like epic content that you're weaving your business into. And it's everything I think creators aspire to. And you're doing it.
Thanks.
It's elevated. It's effortless. It looks effortless. I know it's not effortless.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
It's
but
not.
you make it look effortless, and that is such a skill. And
Thank
we, from
you.
people who do a similar job, can really, really appreciate that.
Wow. Well, same to you guys. I've been like an organic fan of yours for a while. Actually,
wow.
Don't even
have
say
something
that.
hiding under my will you get
Footstool?
that
Is
actually?
In
Will
your
you-
pants?
No,
Why
it's
is that
not.
making my heart like, I can't believe that?
No, well, I'm gonna show you something that I think you guys are gonna maybe giggle at because I actually genuinely bought this when I started watching you guys.
No way.
Oh my God, dude. Look how chipped it
I
is.
know. It came over the ocean from
came
LA.
chipped?
No, I mean
Oh.
I got it when we lived in LA.
Okay,
No
good.
It
way.
didn't come chipped.
That's
It made
OG.
it made it on
That's
the pod with
nostalgic.
us.
That's
I'm
our
having
original
like
tea
a
company.
reverse fan. Come on.
When you guys were coming over, I was like, oh my God, I actually absolutely love it. And you know what? It's so cute. It's so chic. It's like a
cute.
little flower vase moment.
We have so
I was
many
gonna
things
put it in the
common.
middle, but then I was like, I'll ruin the.
Aesthetic.
No,
reveal
keep it
moment.
right there.
That's
I
great.
love it. You know what?
So
I
we're
was-
much better at converting customers than you, obviously. We
Yeah,
know better than
exactly.
the cart.
That was not in my cart. That even came on the pod over the ocean.
I love it.
You guys
Thank
are like
for
you
the
guys were
support.
like the first like TikTok shoppers. I know you're not, but I'm just saying like it was like the way that people now buy everything on TikTok. That was like you guys on YouTube selling that stuff.
Well, I think it
How
was
many
like
years
the
ago was that? That was
lifestyle. Well, I started
5
watching you
years ago.
guys. I was freshly postpartum, and Moon. I was like doing like contact naps with him, so he'd just nap on me all the time, and I'd eat up your videos. And it was like that weird thing of like sitting at home but watching you guys on adventures that I
Aw.
lived vicariously through. And I just I mean, I commit. Like, that's,
You're
so
all or nothing.
I was
Wow.
in it. I was like, they're promoting this. I got to try this. You made it look so
wow.
good with your morning chais and everything. So.
That's incredible.
I am like
Cute or creepy?
Wow,
No, it's one of
It's
those moments
beyond
that's like
cute.
so validating because you can get so sucked into like just numbers.
Yeah.
And then to realize like obviously all those numbers are individual people and not
Mhm.
only just individual people, but like Mr. Kate is one of those people. That's pretty fucking
I
cool.
know. I think I did post about it when I got it. That was when I was being
Wow.
way more like on the Insta story game, which
Mhm.
Incredible.
I've now just I'm pathetic. Anyways, we'll get into that.
Yes.
But I think I did post about it. I don't remember.
Well, just so
Wow.
anyone knows who's looking at the new starter kits, we do have a new pot. It doesn't chip easy.
3 seconds into
no,
it.
I know. You know what? It could have also become like a bath toy at one point
Right.
for
Love.
Moon. So
Right.
this has been through.
Everything
I
that's
love
in
it.
the kitchen makes it into the bath.
Yeah,
at
especially
some
not
time.
like things that aren't breakable.
Yes.
So
In 2024, I think, you guys were reflecting on the year before, and you both, or maybe you, Kate, chose the word move for last year. So I feel like it's January. And I wanted to ask you.
whoa, you're
About a
like
year
bringing
ago.
up the resolutions.
Yes.
Did we move this year?
I think
How
it's
did
really
you move?
well, yeah, that, and also I think it's really cool that you do choose a word to define your previous year, like you said, stuck,
Mm-hmm.
and then move
Yeah.
was kind of your solution to that.
Yeah.
Is that a concept you
Ooh,
came up
I
with?
love you're holding me accountable right now.
Well, I think
It's
it
not
leads-
yet February, so we're still in the January figuring out the next
Exactly.
word.
Exactly.
Wait,
But
but so was that our video? I can't even remember when we put that video out. Was that a
Last
full
year.
year ago? Or was
Yes.
that, so that's our goal for 2025? Or are you asking how we did
Like,
in
they're
2024?
asking how
I'm
we
asking,
moved.
like, I think there was an era where all of us YouTubers were lucky enough to just be on a hamster wheel that just kept going and going and going. And all of us were like, oh my God, this opportunity, like, how could we stop for a second when we have the opportunity to just keep going? And I think what I loved hearing from you guys is that something we were feeling is we need to breathe. And what does that look like when you kind of take a step back, and how easy it is to sort of get stuck when you take a moment, and then how do you get out of that? How
Yeah.
do you move through that and out of it, but also give yourself space? Because to be creative, I think we need space. And we don't
100%.
have space when we're on that hamster wheel.
Yeah.
So what I heard in that chat you guys were having a year ago was like, we were on the wheel. The wheel kind of, whether it was through health stuff or just this knowingness that you needed to stop and breathe.
Yeah.
What did that
Yeah.
phase of your life look like, and where are you at now?
Yeah, where did I move? I think I moved like fully inward in a good way.
Beautiful. Yes.
I feel like so much of moving you identify as being an outward expression, right? And I think I did the opposite in like such a healing way. Just like fully turning myself off from needing the feedback of the outer world, which is really hard, as you guys know, in this business. And like actually experiencing what it felt like to just be me and have the priority of my day be to just enjoy it. Like deliciously simply.
Like putting
Which
your
is
phone
so
away
weird.
from scrolling,
Yes.
comparison, like all those
there
things that
would
you get
be
sucked
days
up into.
like I didn't even open Instagram, which was like unheard of.
But do you find that hard? It's
before.
like a weird instinct to like
Oh
break.
yeah, no, I had to break
because
it,
there's
for
so
sure.
many little lies you can tell yourself. Well, it's for work. Oh,
Yeah.
well, I need to check this. Oh, I need to.
Yeah, I'll
oh, I
just
need
check
this.
it once,
Yeah.
and then you're there for an hour.
Oh, I need
yeah.
to post.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the post. That's the hardest part. Is the I need to post. Dragging yourself away from this like onus you feel to this really other corporation that's ruling our lives. Not to get so crazy deep, but like we are all hamsters a little bit in the sense that we're like fueling this bigger machine. And I was like, bro, I gotta pull back and figure out how to fuel my own machine, because I'm not good at it. I grew up in LA, like grew up around the like more is more, yay, you get like an accomplishment, but then what's next? Like that was always the mantra of like, we didn't even take the time to enjoy the fruits of our labor because it was on to the next thing. And I feel like when you have a kid, it gives you such perspective of that, because we moved here to Hawaii for a reason, to enjoy a quality of life that wasn't grounded in what's next, you know? And like, you want to just enjoy those little moments with your kids. It's like so powerful to just be excited about breakfast.
How do you, if someone's listening and they're feeling the same way, whether they do social media or just regular work, like how do you break those cycles? Because if you're used to sitting there taking a shit and scrolling, how do you just take a shit?
I have a question for you and for everybody. Have you ever signed up for something, forgotten about it after the trial period ends, and then you're charged month after month after month?
Yes.
The subscriptions are there, but you're not using them. In fact, I just learned that 85% of people have at least one paid subscription going unused each month. Thanks to Rocket Money, I can see all of my paid subscriptions in one place and cancel the ones I'm not using anymore. And now we're saving more money. They also make it so easy to cancel because they cancel it for you.
It's pretty amazing. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitor your spending, and helps you lower your bills so you can grow your savings.
I know that sounds crazy, but they actually alert you when a bill payment is increased, and then will let you know, and you can choose for them to try to negotiate it for you. They deal with the customer service, which is the thing I hate the most in the world. And customer service people, you're amazing. I just do not like being on the phone for hours trying to negotiate things. So Rocket Money will actually negotiate your bills for you.
Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. That's a lot.
So cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/reroot today.
That's rocketmoney.com/reroot.
rocketmoney.com/reroot. Go.
rocketmoney.com/reroot.
With my Kindle.
Okay,
She
so you fill it with
replaced
something
it.
else.
I do think that books were a great escape for me. It was something that I always loved as a kid. And then, like, I'm kind of like an introverted. I'm actually an introvert, which people don't usually believe, because I feel like it's a little bit of a persona, my Mr. Kate thing. Not that it ever was fake, but it's just one side of me. As you grow older, there's not a lot of examples of women who, I mean, I think that there are, but there's not as much discussion as I think there should be around the fact that you can't have it all. They tell you you can, but I don't believe that to be true. Actually, Oprah, major credit to Oprah, love her. She said you can't have it all. She committed to not having kids, basically, because she was the titan that she is in business, and those were her children, you know.
It's making me think a lot of our conversation with Ellen and the did you see that episode?
No.
It's called The 30-something Women Are Having an Identity Crisis.
Yeah.
And everything she was saying, I was like,
Yeah.
Because we're told we can have it all, and then when I'm feeling like I can't possibly do it all, you feel like you're failing at your business. Exactly. You feel like you're failing as a mom, and then you're like, who is out here telling me you can't have it all? You're like, this is the conversation I feel moms need to hear, because it's like, you're not alone in feeling that way. And also, what do we do about it?
And also just how freaking unrealistic these expectations are on us, and how unfair it is, and really just owning your laziness.
But no,
like,
don't call
not
it laziness
I know,
in
but
a negative way.
I think about it as like a pride of lions, how like the female lions are the ones that are like the ferocious, go out, hunt, you know, bring it back, but then they also nap a lot.
Like 90% of the day.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm embracing my lioness. It's like I have that ferocious, you know, go get 'em side, but I gotta fuel it with my naps and my books and my Kindle.
Well, I think that's what draws your audience and a lot of people to you guys, is just the authenticity. And when you're stuck and you're trying to portray this dream life and big business and family, it's like it's gonna crumble. Like you just can't continue this ride.
No. I think it's such an important message too, because it is so intoxicating to see people on social media and little snippets doing what it seems like is all. I feel like you can do both, but not all. Meaning, like, we are lucky because we had the time in our 30s to develop and nurture our business like it was our baby, all in 15-hour days, like you guys know, you know, not stopping till the thing's posted, till the thing's edited, it's perfected. And now in like, you know, late 30s into my 40s now, I can be more the mom I want to be, feeling like I have the underbelly of the business, but knowing that because I can't do it all, something's got to give. And it has been a bit of like my business in the sense that I can't maintain, you know, the output that I used to. But like, do I want to, I want to know on my deathbed that I spent the time having the breakfast and the cuddles with my kids than like posting the dumb carousel.
I think that this, because I was talking about this before we were rolling, but I think what's interesting about it is, because I know you guys went through something similar where you stopped vlogging, and the idea that there's a partnership there, and it's and I asked.
I know. Sorry, I'm talking about myself.
No. Because I was asking.
He makes breakfast. No, this
Joey
breakfast
is
that
the
I'm
best.
talking about.
In all the videos I've seen, I'm like, Joey's the best.
Yeah, he really is.
Is what happens when I said, were you guys aligned at sort of like stopping at the same time? Because I think that's like a challenge that's very unique to like couples who work together, is like, how you deal with that, which you said you probably weren't aligned necessarily.
Definitely not. No, it's all I knew, right? It was to film our life. And if she doesn't want to be in it, well, what do I film? Yeah. How do I continue doing what we've been doing for 7 years without her?
Yeah.
And you felt the same?
Well, I mean, you guys are actually in probably like a different situation in the sense that like, if you wanted to keep doing some things, you probably could, because it's like your name's in half of it. Whereas another thing, it's like Mr. Kate, she is Mr. Kate, right? So it's like, if Mr. Kate needs to take a break,
Joey two rolls.
That means
let's be real, guys. There's no Eamon and Beck without Beck. Sure, my name's first, but it's Beck that's carrying the show. It's the same with this pod. So what I did is I focused on habit.
Yeah, it was same. It was like how do we continue to pay our bills if we're no longer making content right now or whatever.
And you guys did the due diligence to really develop a kindred experience for people watching you in the brand. So it is a natural progression to then go on and infuse that into a brand. And obviously our hope, both of us, is that people perceive it as that like our heart really is in this. Like, yes, there's funds being exchanged to get this product, but like we care about it. And you 100%. Buying it means a lot to us.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes. But also like to circle back to the question of like, how do you deal with it? I think one of the things that we have learned over the course of our careers, and I say careers plural because like, I think we've had multiple careers. We like multiple careers. I think there's multiple careers within your creator career, whatever. I think the thing that you just have to learn is that life is peaks and valleys. It's a constant up and down. And so, and you tend to really try to push back against the downs, but the key is really acceptance and knowing that that's how it works. That's how everything in nature works.
It's the same with parenting.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, I'm such a fixer. Beck's always like, stop trying to fix it. She's in a phase. I'm like, well, there's got to be a solution. You know?
She's like getting a tooth. He's like, what do we do? What's next? Like, you know?
Do we need oral gel? Do we need this? Like, what are we going to do here? And you can't always fix things. And that's such a tough pill for me to swallow and surrender and just realize you're not going to sleep tonight.
Yeah.
And move through the few days of it and know when we're in that moment for Eamon, it is the rest of our lives.
Right, right.
This is just today.
I'm a bit like that. Drama queen.
But it's like if your intentions are set correctly, then like, you know, you can just rely on the fact that like the world operates in sine waves, you know, and you'll eventually go back up.
What are sine waves? Okay.
Waves.
Waves.
It sounded better if you said sine waves.
Oh, did you say sound waves?
Sine waves.
Okay, well, sound.
Beep.
Waves.
Waves. Just waves. Thank you.
I want to ask you about your inward journey then. So it sounds like you took a pause, you looked inward. What kind of practices do you have for looking inward, or what did that look like? Was it just simply rest?
I really had to pull myself back from my perfectionism. I sort of self-diagnosed myself. I mean, I love therapy. I've been in therapy for many years, but I think being so results oriented it's a curse, because if you pull back from one area of your life, you can apply it so easily to another. Here I am trying to rest, but it's like, but I got to work out 6 days a week and so there's so many
mothering.
Yeah. I mean, no, and I'm a psycho mom. I mean, I'm a very perfectionist mom. Joey yes, I literally moon weaned when he was 5 years old. I committed to seeing what it would be like to let a child self-wean. I don't know, I get these weird ideas that I'm going to be like my own anthropological experiment.
You're like you're like the it's a very it's not, I'm going to say bad, but it's not bad, but it's like a bad combination of perfectionist and counterculturist. So you're going to perfect whatever is counterculture.
Yeah.
The face that you said, I was like, ha ha ha. Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty determined when I make a decision. So it's a curse, like I say, because you can layer determination on determination and then you're just stuck in another spiral. So yeah, my sort of inner mantra was like not trying to prove things to even myself. Like letting it be okay, even though it was really hard, letting it be okay to have had a day where it wasn't that productive. Yeah. Like that was
that's huge for someone
hard.
who also identifies with everything you've just said. Is like the reason we've gotten to where we are in life in a lot of ways is this layering of determination and perfectionism. And so it's like the programming is strong. Those nerve cells are wired really strong together because it's gotten us what we need or wanted or thought we wanted, And then to prune that apart is like a moment by moment daily practice, or it is for me, of recognizing the thought and saying, oh, what am I actually thinking when I'm thinking that? It's like so much energy.
Then you go on this fast-paced comparison machine.
Exactly.
And you're like, whoa, these guys are here. They built this. What the fuck did I do today?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you send yourself into the bigger spiral of shit. And that's like, I think I want to dive a little bit more into that app and these, TikTok and stuff like that. Like, did you ever go through a phase of deleting them? Or are you still, like Beck and I had a real, when we stopped posting and then we started trickling in again, I would go to like queue up a story and she's like, well, why do you want to post that? Like what, like be honest. Are you looking for a hit? You want to see the views pop up? Yeah. Like what is it about it? Because it's not a sponsored thing. You don't need to post it.
And what did you say? What was like your good reason?
I mean, my initial reason was probably a lie. It was just like, well, we should share because, that's what we do. And
but then I started, you have to do it for the business
to stay relevant. And then I
and
now
the wholesome part of us does, and I feel like you guys do feel really connected to your community. Like the fact that you guys are community members of ours is like, wow, okay, we are doing something right. Like we're showing up as ourselves, and that's allowing like cool people to follow, right? So it's like I do want to stay connected. That's true,
and then
as
it's
well.
also like, well, we just announced that Beck has stage 4 breast cancer. Like, we should update our homies, And then there's that pressure.
Yeah.
I almost wonder, like, just going back to like the question about like, it almost seems like it's a conscious effort to get out of the hamster wheel. But let's be honest, you guys were both kind of forced out of the hamster wheel. It's like
good point.
You literally couldn't do anything because it got to the point where everything was triggering a migraine for you. And so it's like there wasn't. So I mean, I guess the question is if you didn't have the health thing, would we have even taken the break?
Well, the
Probably
truth
not.
is, in all of our, and I said this to my sister-in-law last night, like so many of my YouTube friends, it's like taken a health crisis. And she was like, it's really like that because she's a lawyer across all industries. It's just the industry I know. And it is sad, but often it takes this moment. And then that gives you such perspective of like, what are we doing here? And what is like the purpose of this if I feel horrible and you're got your eye mask on and you're in bed all day? It's like, is this triggered by stress? Is this triggered? And for me, it was so much self-reflection of like, this perfectionism that I'm up against no one but myself, who's created like, I need this and this and this to be succeeding.
Yeah.
And it's all just like numbers, and what does it really matter anyways? But like, if I saw a 10 out of 10 on the back end of YouTube Studio, I can't even explain what it would do to me. Like,
I know.
And it wasn't even like, I know you knew it was like not good for me, but like the extent to what I was storing in my body energetically, right? Is just a lot of negativity and like, it's just so much.
Yeah. But no, that perspective, but you're right. It shouldn't take this extreme of an experience. I mean, gosh, thank God that you're through it on the other end. But like, yeah, you wouldn't wish that on people but just trying to entertain other people with videos. I mean, it just seems like such an extreme experience.
Totally.
How much of your migraines and your health stuff do you think is related to your work?
Yes, a lot. I do think that I wouldn't have gotten to a chronic place with my pain if I didn't work myself the way that I did. I really ruined my body in such a weird way by like prioritizing the superficiality of how I looked on camera. Like, I'm small, if you hadn't noticed. And I always wear platforms. That was like my thing. Cause like otherwise I'm sniffing people's armpits all day. And I do think that, I mean, it's such a weird thing to bring up in response, but like the sort of cascade of prioritizing how I looked, how I felt to be like taller, not so small and whatever was more important to me than like my sore ass feet and my aching back at the end of the day. And I just compounded it by doing like 15-hour days of work on these uncomfortable shoes, not, having a well-informed way of eating, I don't think. Also being fueled by, being raised in LA or whatever, being in a sort of superficial
being
image conscious. Yeah, exactly. Amen. But like just that thing. And I think it depleted my body to a point that my pain was like, hello, listen.
Yeah.
So I would love to understand that a little bit more. Like, imagine there's someone listening who feels like they're caught up in that a little bit. What would you say to them? How would you advise them to get it? Because you seem like such a confident, you know who you are type of lady.
I've been in an epic routine of hydration these past 2 months, thanks to our podcast sponsor, Element. Thank you. And don't I look glowing because of it?
You look amazing.
Thank you.
We've all heard that we should be drinking a glass of water per day.
8 glasses, not a glass.
Does that say 8? Yeah. 8 glasses of water today. But the truth is, hydration isn't about just drinking water. I didn't know that, but now you know it as well. It's about water and electrolytes.
It makes sense. You lose both water and sodium when you sweat, and both are needed to be replaced to prevent muscle cramps, headaches, and energy dips. So often you think you're dehydrated, and those symptoms that we call dehydration are this mix of losing electrolytes and water. Drinking beyond thirst is actually a bad idea because it dilutes blood electrolyte levels, which leads to the headaches, low energy, cramps, confusion, or worse. So the solution isn't to stop drinking water. It's just to drink water and electrolytes. I think I talk about it a lot, but I've been really into my gym. It's this hot room, which is a mix of HIIT and Pilates style classes. And the amount of salty sweat that pours off of me is wild. And now that I understand how to rehydrate, I feel like I'm having more success at the gym. I'm feeling better post-gym.
Plus, it's delicious.
Okay.
I just love drinking it.
I'm obsessed with chili mango, watermelon salt, raspberry salt, citrus salt. The orange salt's good.
They don't make a bad flavor.
Honestly, they're so good.
Element was created by former research biochemist Rob Wolf and Keto Gains founder Louise Villaseñor. Element has enough sodium, potassium, and magnesium to get you feeling your best and performing your best.
Element has 0 sugar, artificial colors, or other dodgy ingredients to hold you back. You are guaranteed to find a flavor you're going to love, and there's just win, 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 win. So they came up with a fantastic offer for us. You just go to drinklmnt.com/reroot. You get a free sample pack with any purchase when you go to that link. Don't be confused or lame like me and call it LMNT. It is Element, but it is spelt drink lmnt.com/reroot. Check them out.
Back to the show.
Yeah, well, I knew who I was in my platforms. I mean, it became
that felt your identity.
like it was. I actually, as I said before, I'm an introvert. I was always shy growing up, and my voice was through creativity, and my first way of expressing myself was through style. And so I was like the weirdest dresser at school, but it was like an empowering thing for me. And so that became a big part of my extroverted, my presence, I guess, around other people early on. And so
what was it about that? Did you love like walking into a room and having people look at you? Or was it more just like the creative exploration of matching strange colors together?
Yes. It was
and
more,
like kind of throwing your middle finger to the norms kind of thing.
These guys are kind of so similar because he's like, he just wants to do the thing. Like I'll just show up one day and his hair's blonde and like he shaved it, or he's like got a mullet.
I feel like
now.
I gotta lean in more.
Yeah. No, but you do, and when you lean in, I'm like, do you think that looks cool? And you're like, no, I just want to be weird.
Yeah, exactly. I
never understood that.
I don't know what it is, but I wanna like rebel against the norm. Like in all aspects, like just do things differently. I've always been like that.
Wait, what sign are you?
Scorpio.
Oh, I love Scorpios. Yeah.
They're fun.
I'm Gemini, which is like the kind of whatever crazy two-faced. My sister is Scorpio though. Yes. Okay. Yeah. You're wild. No, I totally identify with that. I think it is the creative exploration and just like the self-discovery process of the experimentation. I never dressed like for guys. It was always really for myself. And then maybe for like other females in the sense that like I enjoyed the conversation it
inspiring
sparked.
them.
Yeah, it like was like kind of when I was shy, it was like an entry point into connecting with people. And it's funny how that sort of snowballed then into like our business, which is so much about creativity being the door that opens connection with people, right? And like figuring out what it is about other people that we can like, amplify and express in their space.
So what did your parents say when you left the house with green hair and high heels or whatever you're wearing?
They liked it. My parents are definitely weird in a good way, I guess. They just saw it as like unique. I mean, my mom was like a hippie, like in the, 70s, and my dad like was in the entertainment business and, knew that being weird was a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, you're in LA too. Like you probably weren't that weird. If you were in like Wisconsin, maybe you would have been
my vinyl pants would have been like a weather choice. I don't know. In LA, it was different.
I love it because I can feel Eamon is also like leaning into you and really like excited because I think uniquely enough, we said before the pod, we maybe have similarities, and I know we're not the same gender, but that you guys are like these, like, let's just go for it. And like sometimes you tuck these socks into like pants, and I'm just like, I actually don't get it, but you're like, that's the point.
It's just different, baby.
And like when he had a bun, he would put his hair up and just take scissors and like just.
I did that last night.
Oh, okay.
I
so
love
he's
it.
Cut my hair and
so
was just like.
free, and I love to hear it from a woman's perspective as well, because I think we grow up with beauty standards or an idea of like to be accepted or to be wanted, and this is all subconsciously happening.
Yes,
that you need to like fit that standard idea of beauty, and for you to dye your hair green is like the most badass, coolest. I want Frankie to embody that.
Yeah.
So I hope she gets that from you, and I hope that I can. Maybe I need to go dye my hair green. I don't know, but help her foster like just being creative. And
do you find what do you get from Beck as far as like do you feel like she like kind of like squares out your roundness or something? Or?
A little bit. Like she's very accepting. She would never like make a judgy comment or anything. But I do find if I do something bold, she would be like, "Yep, looks good. Whatever you want, baby." Like it would never be like, "Oh yeah, like that's rad." Like
I don't think I round your squareness. I mean, I don't think I square your round.
I guess I didn't mean that as a negative. I meant more like what are the additive qualities if you're like this sort of out there and she's this more we often refer to ourselves as like circles and squares.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I'm just curious like what it is that you get from her?
Like,
do you take the creativity from him and he
she's actually extremely creative.
Yeah.
She does.
Yeah.
I think people wouldn't necessarily know that.
Everyone is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do believe
Our
that.
hearts are just full of
But
it.
I think when it comes to style and looks and being bold and different, she grew up very traditional. And I think if we weren't together, she would be with a more square virgin kind of look.
He calls it virgin.
But she probably wouldn't be with the more
Because
square-
they haven't experienced the like.
I think you guys do the
sin
same. I think
of
you guys
passion.
complete each other.
I'm
We complete
stereotyping
each
a
other,
little
you know?
bit.
Thank you, Joey.
I don't think
He's
you would be
looking
with
for you
that.
to say, without you, I would be just. And
Yeah,
you're just
yeah.
going like,
Yeah,
she's
without
so
her,
square.
I'd be a drug addict in a ditch. 100%. I'm very aware of that. I've said
with
that
a
many
great
times.
shirt.
Yeah. With blue hair.
Exactly.
No, I think that it's like a funnel. I always describe it as Joey being kind of my funnel. Like if I'm sort of the whirlwind of ideas, he,
I think-
kind of streamlines it. Which
I think
feel
I'm
like
just the
you,
check on like reality. Like if like my goal, one of the things I've always loved about Kate is the fact that she's like in outer space, and I've always wanted to like give that to other people.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm like a public school kid. I'm like meaning like I went to a school with like 5,000 kids. You went to a school with like 100 kids.
That's interesting.
All of the right angles were me. All of the rounds things were you. So everything you do, I want to like help the world be able to grasp it, because it can very, very often be like so far out there,
It's very kind.
I don't think
I'm a
we'd ever
charity
work
case.
together.
I know.
I'm sorry, but it's a good thing
There
we
would
yeah,
be
like,
way
what would-
too
what would
many
it be-
haircuts happening.
what would
I
it-
just
yeah.
trim my hair.
We'd have no hair.
We'd have no hair.
What would it
We'd be
be?
bald
Yeah.
but colorful.
What would your reality be if it was like you two together? But then if it was like us two together, maybe we wouldn't have
Or
like
Joey, we would tune into our own creativity and we'd be the tornado.
yeah, or we'd be lawyers.
Yeah. Lawyers. Joey's secret fantasy to be a lawyer. Oh gosh.
Section 85.
No,
says-
he does actually. He's the one that reads all of our contracts and basically like puts notes on them that our lawyer like takes.
Wow.
Yeah, we're both a little anxiety ridden, but that's his thing.
Wow. Well, we were talking before about delegation and how is it even possible to have everything you have going on without delegation? You must have teams in place, and what does that look like for you guys? Yeah.
It's an exhausting thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys have experienced being like managers. That was something I never even fathom would be like a role that I would have to step into, but managing other people and finding the right teams has always been a bit of an Achilles heel of ours, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, like, I'm not square enough for that. It's almost like,
We are the same.
Yeah.
I'm square, but I am not nearly square enough to manage.
Agreed.
I'm like, just let them do their thing. If they get it done, it's great. If not,
That's
like,
kind of how we do it. They're
Yeah.
gonna fall off. Like, sure, we waste a little bit of money, but like if they're not doing
that's the hardest
we
thing.
don't want to manage them.
But that's the hardest thing is when you say they're going to fall off,
Yeah.
is like allowing, it's that realization that you're doing a disservice to allow them to fall off, but it's so hard to check that and to go, okay, fine, I'm going to, even though I need to do this, I'm going to take the time to do like a check-in. It's like those, but those are the things we've just all learned over the years that have to happen, but we do not like doing it.
Yeah, I think also this business has always been like you start it, you're the little engine that could, and you're doing everything. Yeah, to delegate is so hard, especially when you're cursed with the perfectionism gene or whatever it is, and you know you could do it the best, but you can't do everything.
Yes.
And so to have to relinquish like your quality is really hard.
I think something that interesting that's happened lately is all like really circling back to social media that you brought up is what's so weird though, as micro sort of managers of content and all that stuff, is like everything has just changed now. Cause now, like, for example, Kate posted like this random unedited video just like about something random like a couple days ago. It's already at like 8 million views. It's like, it's this weird thing where like all of that busyness that we are so harped on, like,
Yeah.
There's no formula.
it's really just for yourself.
Or the formula
you know?
is, yes.
Yeah, it's for Joey.
Joey.
Let that sink in.
What is the
Put it
takeaway
in the
from
pot.
that?
I don't know, but it sounded good.
Let it stew.
No, the takeaway for me is it's just this self-imposed, like creating the stress.
It's
is
a story. It's a
feeding
story you've told yourself.
My
Yeah.
programming of stress. Like I
Yeah.
just, if you don't, you said earlier, like if you don't get the stress from this, you'll just apply it to something else.
Yeah.
And I've tried to be really conscious that I'm not doing that as a mom because I knew that was my patterning. And so I quit social media when Frankie was born for a lot of reasons,
Good,
but one
yeah.
of them being I knew that as a mom, I'd be like, this woman who I admire so much says you have to do it like this.
Yeah.
But this one who looks really educated is saying you have to do it like this. And then I wouldn't know what my gut, my intuition, my heart were just telling me to do, you know?
Yeah.
And I still find it hard to navigate. So I can't imagine if I was taking an outside
But that
voices.
makes a lot of sense coming from your journey. I mean, you must have felt so weirdly separated from your body during your illness to then reconnect to it so strongly through pregnancy, to then have an extension of yourself. I mean, it's no wonder. Like, you went through so many nuanced, crazy things in a short period of time. And yeah, motherhood is so crazy because you think the hardest time is like the newborn phase, but then there's the next phase and the next phase, and it's just
Don't tell us that.
No, sorry.
No, but I know that to be the truth. Like it has to continue to have new challenges and new things you face, right? I want to say that when I was diagnosed, I actually felt very in tune with my body.
Oh, really?
But the medical system was making me feel as though I shouldn't.
Oh.
It's weird. Like our best friend passed away by suicide.
Yeah.
And when I was diagnosed, I kept hearing or feeling this knowingness that it's to do with my coping of her passing.
Oh, wow.
And but everyone I asked was like, well, why would this happen to me? Like I'm this and I exercise and I do all the things and I don't eat meat and like all the things and they'd be like, you're unlucky. And I could feel it's not the case. Like it's this stress, but I just dismissed it. So even though I was in tune with it, I think the medical system's like, you do the chemo, you do the thing. And like, that's how we move through this. Like, don't tune into your body almost. Like do disassociate from your body. Which was a really interesting journey because now I'm in a place of like trusting my body more than anything and like sitting in a place of meditation to say, okay, like why is that pain coming up for me or why am I feeling anxious today or whatever, and just asking my body what it is trying to show me or teach me by having those physical symptoms because I really believe our body is just talking to us.
So is the meditation the only kind of like therapy you've done? I love therapy in all forms.
Yeah, no, I've
I'm
done a
just
lot
curious.
of hypnotherapy as well.
Yeah.
Hypnotherapy? Like hypnotic.
Yeah.
So you're like in
Yeah,
hypnosis and
Okay.
crazy memories came up for me through that I didn't realize where I was storing as well. And I was really able to heal.
Tell them about your mom's.
Yeah, my
This is really interesting.
biggest one was I was like in hypnosis and she was asking me about, I can't even remember. We were doing this really cool thing where she would ask a question and my right hand was tapping yes and my left was no. And you don't even have you don't even realize that you answered yes to something. It was really cool. So it's happening really fast. And if you said yes, she'd give you a moment to like talk about it further. So I said yes to something and she's like, well, what's the memory? And all of a sudden I'm like standing at the door of my parents' bedroom and my mom is crying on the bed. And my JK teacher had just passed away from breast cancer. And I start saying to her, so I've had this fear.
Wait,
of
is
breast
this an
cancer.
actual memory?
This is my actual memory that I remember.
But it was
I
such
know
a-
I have, but I'd never thought about it in this way, or it didn't even occur to me what it meant to be holding this memory, that I had fear of specifically breast cancer since I was 4. It's like my earliest memory.
Wow.
And the idea that
Oh my
that
gosh.
would hurt I know, that would really hurt my mom. And I wanted to like never see my mom cry. Like,
Yeah.
and it just comes out of you in this hypnotic state because you're in theta or whatever brainwave
Yeah,
pattern
and
where
your
you
brain's
can't be analytical. So all of a
Right.
sudden I'm like saying these things and I'm like, oh my God, I remember that so vividly. And look how it's maybe stored in my body and shaped what's happened to me in my life. I don't know, but
Yeah.
it was really healing to like move through it and then pick up the little girl and do all the
Yeah.
the work.
Oh, that's so great. No, it's crazy how there's so many different types of therapy available out there, and you got to find what kind of clicks with you. And I'm
100%.
so like, because there's different things I've gone through and different types of therapies worked differently for me. I've done EMDR lately, which is like just around even my own birth experience and past things that I feel like have shaped the way that I react and respond to situations. With this year being my year to go inward, I wanted to try something new. And it's really cool. Like the idea is you track this light, and the whole idea is repatterning your brain. Because if you've gone through a traumatic experience, the theory is that you're stuck there because it was so big that your brain at the time couldn't assimilate it. So usually you assimilate your experiences at night while you sleep from the day. But if it's been so big and so ouchy to your system, it stays that present and that ouchy. And every time you think about it, it feels like the same moment you experienced.
And you could be thinking about it subconsciously.
Exactly. And it lives in every response. I think my, you know, my thing with parenting and being so all in does stem from my birth experience too. I didn't get to have like the one I wanted. And so now I'm shaping.
Beck can relate to that.
I know. No, you even more so.
No, it's not my experience.
I know. But yeah, anyways. But you know what? I think that the therapy makes it. I would be running my mascara right now way more if I hadn't done the work, you know? Like it's like it makes it less of a visceral experience to talk about it. Like
1,000%.
Right? It's what's more factual, I guess, is like the thing that happens.
What's the trauma what do you hold, or what were you holding on to from that experience that you've been able to release?
Well, I mean, talk about perfectionism being thrown in your face. You have such a dream, as you mentioned, of the birth that you want. And then when it doesn't work out, and I think almost like the hindsight of it all was so frustrating too, because I could think back and be like, if I did this differently and did this differently and and so I think that the powerlessness really is not good for my control freak side.
Did you feel as though when you got to the hospital, I just watched your birth vlog on the way here, so it's fresh for me. Did you feel as though going to the hospital when you did then took you out of your power?
I feel like I never wanted to go to the hospital, but it was like I wanted to try for a home birth, but everything was fear-based around like what I had to be on blood thinners while I was pregnant from this like syndrome that I tested positive for, which was like a clotting syndrome. So to avoid it affecting the pregnancy, I had to be on injectable blood thinners every day. And I think that just the fear of that was like, let's just do hospital. But then I was such a classic like snowball of like, you're not advancing, Pitocin, epidural, So yeah.
Obviously, like at the core of the like disappointment of the whole thing is your perfectionism. I mean, I'm just trying to think through like you wanted the perfect birth, understandably, but because of your perfectionism too, I think it like almost makes the trauma that much more intense for you, because it's like battling against like, I don't know. I
think I'm the hardest. I mean, my therapist for however many years when I was younger would always say like, you're the hardest person on yourself. Like no one else is as hard on you as you are, which is what we've been talking about. And so, yeah, I was very hard on myself post that, just wishing I'd been stronger in the moments, or I'd set myself up to have better voices around me to help, support me and guide me. So yeah, I mean, but hopefully.
I guess my question is like going into your second birth, like how do we avoid setting ourselves up to have a perfect scenario? Like I think that's the struggle we face, is like she still wants all of the things checked off, that like every possible outcome is going to be like thought through and and it's like just a dangerous place to put yourself into, because it's not. There's being prepared, which we're going to do. And then there's having to have it go a certain way, which you have very little control of. What I was going to say earlier is that the annoying thing about the medical process is like because you're older for pregnancy,
I'm geriatric.
They make
Girl,
her
I
do
will
so
be
many
too.
tests
Yeah.
and so many things that like
It's the
take
most
you out of
insulting.
your
your
aware,
power.
out of your, like they like want you to not be in your body.
Exactly.
You know?
Yes.
But anyways, back to my question. This is a bigger question. You don't have to have an answer for it, and it's gonna be something we can talk about later. I'm just listening to the conversation, thinking about the fact that like, how do we avoid
Disappointment.
the perfection? One, I think it stems from being a perfectionist about how it has to go, right?
But also, my counter is if you really embody your power, if you really envision this birth as you want it, you can control is the wrong word, but you can
affect.
Yes.
Yeah. I agree. And I believe that.
Me too.
But I don't think I knew actually how to do that.
Yes, and I think
for my
first
first
time
one.
first time is like scary,
Yeah.
and you just want the baby to be healthy and for everything to go okay, and
so you just listen to the professionals and you don't listen to your instincts.
Exactly. I think if you spend the time to tune into your own power, you should listen to our podcast episode with Trent and Allie. She had a very traumatic first birth and then the most beautiful home birth for her second.
Gosh. But it was just a really, really beautiful experience. I don't even know how to talk about it yet because it still feels so surreal. But literally you go into labor and then some people come over, you fill up a tub, you get in.
Where'd you do this? In your living room?
In our bedroom.
Wow.
Leah, it's unbelievable.
When she tells the story, I'm talking goosebumps. She was like, she just took her power.
Yeah. No, I need
so
to fuel
amazing.
myself with those kinds of stories.
Especially when you've
sure.
heard this story, like the first birth just went completely left field. Like they didn't want any of these things and then they had all of the things. Like she was like, if I'm coming here into the hospital, the only thing I don't want is Pitocin. And then within 20 minutes she was on Pitocin. It's like, even when you know you don't want it, I think we let the fear allow us. So it's about, in my rewiring brain and the work I do, it's like spend the time envisioning that absolute perfect birth and know that it has already happened.
Yeah.
Live in that and don't live in the fear. And I know things. I know.
No. I was gonna say like it's about not just believing it in your head, but if your subconscious doesn't believe that that's gonna happen.
Yes.
And
it's
like that real rich, deep level and understanding that this is my truth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easier said than done, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But if your subconscious is like, nah, you're gonna be scared. You're gonna cave. Then you're never gonna do it.
I know.
That's
you?
her.
We'll talk about
I think you're good. I think you're good at that. I think I'm maybe not good at it. And the problem is that like I think you really believe in like the power of your thoughts to control reality.
This is really nice therapy for all of us.
Yeah, I'm more of like a pragmatist, realist. Like I'm like I would rather be open to any situation and like be okay with it, knowing that like you can't control your reality, which I don't. That's just who I am. I'm not saying that's the truth, but like I think the hard part is that if I think that there's part of you that thinks if I don't believe it's going to go XYZ, then it's not going to go XYZ. So then I feel this pressure to like try to drum up that belief.
Yeah.
But it's like the reality is like I'm okay with it not going XYZ because
it's not your vagina.
Yeah, but also I mean I'm just it's just a difference in our personalities.
Yeah.
That's like for me, my birth going so left field. I think I've compensated a lot in my parenting and I'm conscious of it and I'm working on it, but I like over parent or I'm just trying to right the wrong I feel like the birth was. But in the episode that I recommend with Trent and Allie, she looks me in the eyes and she says, if that baby came out of you, you birthed that baby.
Yes.
And it was so healing for me to hear because it's almost like I felt as though I didn't birth her. Yeah. Which is not true. Of course she was in my womb and I birthed her. Yeah.
No, I know.
But the guilt I've carried around that and I think that I've allowed into like other avenues and things that I do and it's like compensating, I think.
I totally get that. I'm even like, it's like, I want to recreate the vaginal birth canal on Moon because this is her little kukulala, him. But, you know, his head didn't get to go through. So there's like chiropractors who will squeeze your head in such a way like it. So because the plates
They say
in your
how
head,
important that is, right?
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like our C-section babies didn't get to do that. So it's like just another, you know, tick on the guilt thing. And so I was talking to Moon the other day. I'm like, I'm gonna
Honey,
and he's
hold
like,
still.
No.
Frankie, we're
Mom.
bringing you over to Mr. Kate.
She's gonna
Pretend
squeeze
she's
your
a
head.
vaginal canal and squeeze out of your
This
head.
is our constant battle in our relationship, is because it's like I would say he's fine. You don't need to squeeze his head.
Yeah, but I'm
That's
a
the constant battle for
C-section
us,
baby,
too.
and I have head problems.
No, but that's not related.
I mean,
But you're also always trying to fix everything with yourself. You like wearing a retainer. You know, it's like
what does my retainer have to
because you're saying you have head problems. I'm saying like,
Yeah, because my holistic dentist, it's not a retainer, it's a splint.
but I'm bringing
to
it back to
hold
the.
my mouth open.
I'm bringing it back to the yin and yang of the
Totally.
different worlds, and then hopefully our kids end up somewhere in the middle. That's my theme in life now. Is just like as I get older and older,
Yeah.
I realize the middle is the place to be. And we've talked about this a lot. That sometimes it takes extremes to
Yeah.
correct extremes.
But when it's a
But-
wide chasm, the middle has so many options.
Are we talking about vaginas still?
She is not a wide chasm, sir.
I didn't say your vagina, Kate. I said vaginas.
I
But
love
this
that
is
that
interesting.
word was our warm-up word. And
It's the word of the
actually-
pod. Yeah. So if we look at you two as perfectionists and we look at us as parents and desperately trying not to screw up our kids,
Yeah.
how much of like where do you think this perfectionism comes from? Did you grow up religious? Do you think that played a role in it? Were there teachers in your life that made you feel a certain way? Was there a point where you felt like, you know, you only got validation when you did a certain thing?
Can I just tie it back though? Because I think one of the things we're realizing is that it's the same thing we do with our work. It's busyness. And I have to imagine if you love your child, 90% of all this stuff probably won't matter, you know?
Yeah.
So we
of
could give
course.
ourselves
But I'm
a
not
break on
doubting
some of
that
this stuff.
their parents didn't love them.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I think, or do you think people are just born perfectionists? Because I am not a perfectionist. Like I'm like good enough. I work really hard and I make sure that like I'm a detailed guy and you know it's done to a certain point and then boom, it's out.
I will bring it back to the tribe. Okay,
You were
sorry.
part of a tribe.
We're going back, guys.
Yeah.
We only had so many influences in our lives as humans. Now we have endless influences and ideas and thoughts bombarding us, all affecting, you know, that sense of self, soul, whatever you want to call it. And it's like human nature, survival of the fittest. Like, what is our definition of fittest, right? Are we the fittest when we can embody all of those things that, you know, are telling us is the most successful? And it's literally a superhuman effort that is entirely impossible,
Yeah.
right? Like, I feel like, I mean, I went way back past parents to my tribal ancestors.
I think that's
But-
important though sometimes.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's what it is.
Stop
'cause what-
overthinking it and like bring it back to when we were running around barefoot.
Close your circle.
Yeah.
Like that's what like
your feedback loop
shut-
needs to be
exactly.
way smaller.
shutting down the social media, shutting down all those things, really answering to yourself, do I need to work out 6 days a week for me feeling good or for my presentation to all those outer voices? You know, like just like checkmating yourself as much as possible. I feel like is wisdom. I guess. I don't know. No, I know. I'm 41. But, you know, that I feel like in your 40s, like you start kind of going like, what the heck is the point of all this? You know, that little voice of like, what's going to make me feel better? Posting this Instagram and getting like, you know, encouraging comments or enjoying a walk on the beach and, you know, my toes in the sand and hearing my kid laugh. Like literally what's going to make me feel better when I lay down.
Was your move to Hawaii in part to do more of that, what you just described. Did you feel like LA was the opposite? Like, don't slow down and don't, and have you found Hawaii to be what you were seeking?
I think the aloha spirit seeps into you, and we're not like ideal candidates for it to seep into because like,
we were a tough nut to crack.
Yeah.
No, I mean, honestly, they talk about Pele, who's like the goddess of the volcanoes and the fire of the islands, hazes you like when you move here. Like, it's like, you know, she puts you through a challenge, see if you can take it. And I feel like that happened because we moved here with the desire of like a lifestyle shift, you know, not knowing that with what we did, we could, you know, sort of be anywhere, but really wanting a different pace of life and priority shift. And I think Pele's challenge to us was my health. Just, I thought I was like going to come, my migraines are going to get so much better. They got worse. You know, and here I am, and we're here without family around us. I mean, right, moving to an island, like that's like one of the biggest reasons people end up moving away from here is like you're on a remote island unless you have like a support system around you that you really curate from like strangers, literally, and it takes work to build a community. You're alone. So it was like a real stripping down when we came here of just like, oh, whoa, okay, like, my headache's getting worse. I can't get stuff done. Like, what's the point? And it was like a harsh way to learn the lesson that I think I did ultimately learn. Now I feel so much better this year, but I didn't know that I was going to have to learn it that so hard way.
Yeah. What was the lesson ultimately, do you feel?
I think just taking time and space, like our experience of time again in like just the bombardment is so rapid and instant, but I don't think it's innate to humans. Like we innately need to like leisurely get up in the morning and not look at our devices and like greet the day and like just those little choices, like what you do while you poo-poo on the toilet. The important choice, Eamon, you know, like literally. Yeah. And I think that was the lesson of just like, it takes longer than you think it is. Yes, that too.
I mean, I'm pretty impressed.
But you get it. That's cool.
I think the biggest takeaway we learned from this, and I'm sure you will agree with me, is it's all within you too. Like it sounded like you said you were looking to move to Hawaii and your migraines would go away. But your migraines are you, right? You know, exactly. And it doesn't take a tropical oasis for the migraines to go away. It takes you to go inward, slow down, you know, tuned in.
You. Oh, amen.
Hey, I got more of this, guys.
Subscribe to the show. Like a year ago, this is me. Like out of nowhere, I don't care about our finances, but I've always stressed about them, right? So I'm like, babe, whatever. Like, you know, like it's all within me. It's just really cool to hear you embodying that spirit. It's amazing. But it didn't always
I mean, it sounds fucking hippie at first. And I agree. If people are listening, it's like, okay, bro. But that's the truth.
I think that's the lesson in life, right? Like, is everyone thinks like when I get that, then I'll be happy. And then they get the thing and realize they're not happy.
Well, so that's like money, right?
Well,
finances.
Followers.
What was the experience? I think like, I mean, again, it's the life operates in sine waves, but like seeing your AdSense numbers go down. How did you deal with that?
He
needs a therapy.
I needed to go out and work matter to matter and grind and go and
but to get the assets to go back up.
No, I couldn't without her. Gotcha. You know, I wasn't gonna.
I kept telling you could though.
Yeah, that would have been.
So you needed to do something.
I went and focused on habit. Right? Yeah, just fill my day with time to try and. Yeah, you know, work at a business.
Yeah, because I think like part of probably I'm sure what happens to all creators is you get addicted to the success of not the success. You get addicted to growth. You get addicted to, and it's always like a 5-alarm fire when it's a 10 out of 10 or your AdSense is going to whatever. And at some point we were like going through something similar and just thinking about it and like or like you know trying to debate like do we have to keep working right now or can we take some time out? And it was kind of just like, I came to the point where I was like, all I care about is that like we can pay our mortgage, and then like it doesn't matter. Like the money doesn't really matter so long as you can cover your needs. But you get addicted to thinking like, not addicted to it, but you get trained to think that the money matters so much, and you got to keep trying to get more sponsors. You got to keep trying to
and it never goes away. It's about your relationship with the money, and like you said, like the fact that we can go out and do this show and buy a coffee and live comfortably. I do feel secure, and I feel abundant. Like I'm excited about what we're making. I know the money's gonna come. You know, we're talking about
hippie Eamon.
We're talking about ads before the pod, like before the show. Like this podcast isn't really. See, the abundant mindset maybe shouldn't say this, but it's not there yet, right? It's not making sense.
We have this belief that we keep reaffirming. We're like, the podcast isn't making money, but we like the pod. And it's like, well, until we say like the podcast is doing amazing. Blah, blah, blah,
let's just lie.
We're not going to. No, it's not about lying. It's about embodying.
It's interesting it's interesting that that's you, because that seems like that would be you based on all the conversations we had.
So you know what's interesting? We swapped. Is I didn't give a fuck about money. Money's always come easy to me. I've always been an entrepreneur. I could literally sell my shirt off my back and make money.
Like when we talked about YouTube going away, I'd be like, oh, I'll just go get a job. And he's like, I'll sell sandwiches on Shack on the beach. Like it was never.
It wasn't until I became a dad.
And
Why?
when I quit caring, it was both things happened in the same week.
I think
for
someone
him.
needs to pick up.
Well,
the
you
stress.
also went through trauma though, as well.
For sure.
Of course.
Massive.
Yeah.
And that is, I mean, a lot of times, it's harder to acknowledge, obviously, because all the energy is focused on her getting through it. But like that was a real shit moment for you, and like accountability to yourself and to these people beyond you is, I mean, that's a lot.
100%. I still don't think I've really digested that. Like,
that's an important meditation. And that, I mean, that caretaker side that just had to come out because of necessity in you is a real driver. I mean, that's, talk about tribal. You're in your like hunter
survival
mode right now.
You don't need to be there anymore.
No, I know. I just think it's so interesting being like the caregiver or the support person. And I never really had an example of that. And I never really allowed myself to digest that. Holy shit. Like, it's okay that you feel like you're like, this is traumatic for you too, you know?
Yeah, it is hard to be to acknowledge that. I know, to feel the guilt. Like
I think especially as a man, you probably feel like just like
you need to be the
zip
rock.
be the rock, you know, this is not about me, and you know, but it is about you very
and it's
much.
also the time. Like you guys are still fresh off of this. Like in the scheme of life, like these are the years you're digesting and processing, and you know, like that's what I'm saying. Like that to me has been the biggest comfort, because I've been so ruled by this insatiable timetable that is just not realistic to human experience, you know, and just being okay and forgiving yourself at the end of the day. If all you did was have fun and laugh and, you know, or get through a little smidgen.
Yeah.
I think we're here today for you to hear that as well, because I think you like adjusted some of your beliefs around productivity. Like you needed to go and do and really just do.
Provide.
Yeah, but to feel okay. Like you'd be like, if you just had a day and you would be like, oh, I just realized like today all I did was hang out with Frankie. And I was like, yeah, but for me, that became very fulfilling. Like that was an amazing day. But there was this part of you, whether it was you becoming the caretaker in our health journey, or if it was just becoming a father. I'd be curious if you felt any shift when you became a dad, because you definitely had a lot of shifting going on, but I know that I was also changing a ton, right?
I started using a calendar.
And if I don't add to the calendar,
I mean, I think
now I'm big in the calendar game. I got the color.
So annoying.
Color
I'm like, I'm going out with like my girlfriend tonight. He's like, is that in the calendar? I'm like, no.
I mean, we're like how many years into the it's not on the calendar. Which GMO are you logged into? You know, it's like How are we
I
still
love
having this
that.
conversation?
It's synced.
I
yeah.
love that.
No.
What doesn't change when you have a kid? You know, it's
Yeah.
like I don't even know that I could point to one thing, but it's just like it all changes. It's a different level of a game that you don't realize until you get to it. You know, it's like you hear people say it.
Yeah.
Like everything in life, it's pretty much you can't really understand it until you go through it. But like having a kid is literally a completely different experience. Time's different. Everything's different.
Yeah. I feel like for the dad too, like in the early years, you're a bit of like a support, almost like assistant, second in command to mom. But then as they get, like now that Moon's 5, it's really interesting how much he depends on Joey for a lot of energetic exchange. And it's so great. I mean, the bike riding, like all the things like I don't want to do.
I can't wait for that.
I'm so
And
happy to
it's
hear
so
that too. I
great.
think that's where you will shine, and
Yeah.
maybe where there was like some struggle in your identity is like how you fit into it all. And
I think I thought I would be a lot more natural with the baby, the baby. And
you've done such an amazing job.
thank you. But I do feel like that first year was very much like, oh, I got a 6-hour shift here. Like it was challenging. And I thought it would be more from the heart, and it just wasn't. It was like literally like wiping up puke. And
I think that's a sobering realization we can all identify with it. Like, and so I saw that somewhere, probably on social media, that it isn't your job to entertain your child. And that was like a real, like, oh, it isn't. Like it's okay to just say to them, like, play. I mean, I know she's so young, but like, just play by yourself. Like,
yeah,
they
could you imagine putting
learn
Frankie in that corner right now?
Oh, she might have fun.
But that's a real thing, because as like a perfectionist mom, like I want to invest in every
Girl, the way I read to this girl,
of everything. If he's gonna ask something to me, I am gonna deliver to the sky's limit. And so it's like I
feel so seen.
Yeah.
I feel so seen. Yes. And Eamon's like, you don't have to go
beyond
at
a full-time
150%.
job. Yeah.
Beyond.
I think that what this is it's and it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, is I think so much of the stuff you could be doing like as parents, and so much pressure is like really all that matters is showing up and putting in the effort and knowing that the effort will yield a very, like I put in so much effort with Moon, and it was like hard, but it was like I almost was like applying effort as if I'm like working out.
Okay, like an investment.
Yes, it pays off.
Yeah.
And there's so many parents that don't put in effort, and it doesn't pay. I see it. Like I see it in the relationship as the kid ages. There's like this closeness that you're creating right now with the effort you're putting in that you're not getting the reward for yet.
Yeah.
But it all of a sudden, it's this switch happens when they get a little older, and all of a sudden, all that effort they've been storing.
I love that. And so healing for you, I feel.
No,
like.
that really did hit me. Appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
The
approach.
You guys are 0 screen time.
We are
0.
Yeah.
0.
Like Moon's never seen a screen.
Kate didn't
Never
watch.
seen
Kate
a
didn't watch
movie,
TV
never
until
seen-
high school.
Yeah.
Or after high school.
Wow.
That is super impressive, because we kind of
Here caveat.
okay.
Wow.
Flying?
He will
Flights?
watch
He's seen like video.
if like we're
videos.
editing like a video or something.
Okay,
he'll,
but
like,
never
watch-
Miss Rachel.
No idea.
Wow.
His only knowledge of, it's actually really cute because
That's
his only
amazing.
knowledge of characters is from like his friends, but he'll be invested in them just for like the sake of supporting his friends. So he'll see like Pikachu, one of his friends really likes, and he'll see it out at like a store, and he'll be like, oh, we should get that because so-and-so really likes Pikachu. To him, it's just this yellow thing.
This is like
But-
a foundational thing though that we're doing with him because Kate did it, and it's really grounded in. I mean, it's very interesting. I think it also plays a huge role in why Kate is this creative force.
Yes. And you are.
And it's sort of a result of like Kate grew up in the Waldorf school system, and like sort of their core tenant, or one of their core tenants, is like, well, you should probably explain it more than I should, but it's like basically experiencing creativity. Sorry, go.
No, I think, it's just everything should be born from your own experience of life.
Versus someone else telling you what it is.
Yeah,
right?
so
like a screen.
Exactly. Like there's no textbooks. Like we're told stories, or even in science class, shown the experiment, we talk about it, and then we write it out ourselves with our own writing in our own way that we experienced it, draw pictures of how we saw it, whether it's a history story or something. So you really take on the information in such a personal way, which I feel like is how we then go and live our lives when we're grown-ups. So it's just the most empowering foundation I think you can give a kid. Waldorf is from Europe, and they're all over the place. It's kind of hippy dippy in a lot of ways, but like
we're hippy dippy.
Yeah, you guys would.
You guys would be totally
well, it's funny because we were just hanging with Ellen, and she's doing the homeschool. And I'm like, do I have like the energy for that? Like, I love what she's saying. I resonate. But it's cool what an opportunity for us to sit down with people and like
look into it.
Like, ooh, that sounds interesting.
My fear with homeschool for me personally was like, I can't supply the social experiences that I know nurtured my understanding of self and everything as I grew up. Like I can't supply that as a mom. And I knew my personality. It would be too. I try to rise to the challenge in a way that would be unfair.
That's what I say, even unfair to me as well. Like
exactly unfair to you.
Yes, like I would just be like, I could do nothing else. You know, I worry. So we'll see.
But the whole screen thing is obviously like a big topic of conversation amongst parents and all that stuff. But like the crazy thing about it is, you would assume that if you don't give your kid a screen, like you're somehow like withholding in their mind, but he's never asked to watch anything. And the crazy thing about kids is like, you'll see they watch one thing, they are like focused on that character.
It's crack.
And
well, then they also draw pictures of that character, and it infuses in their play. They're acting out what they saw in the show or the movie.
So their imagination is limited to
being
the
told
show
what
now.
It's funneled through that.
Wow.
Yeah. And you can't even, I mean, the things that he comes up with in the games and the characters, and when he draws stuff, he makes like, I mean, it's just so mind-blowing what he does. And kids' brains, I mean, you know, when they're 7, they have the most synapses connected that you will have in your entire life. So to start the pruning with like
Barney.
Curated things that were made by grown-ups who are already stunted in their imagination is, I think, a disservice. So we really look at it as a gift to him.
And I think it's how you are able to question everything in the world, because you're basically raised to have your own ideas about everything versus someone else telling you those ideas. And so like you sort of have like a repulsion to that.
I just like I like that there's always a different angle to take on something, always a personal, you know, siphoning of the information or whatever it is. That's probably why math is my least favorite subject, because there is a clear answer to it. You know, I prefer organic and So I think I mean, we have to be careful obviously in this environment because everyone's addicted to screens, right? Like I'm addicted to my screen. But I have forced myself to have a different relationship with it because of the example.
So you guys don't scroll in front of him?
Only he only thinks that
you're doing work.
Yeah.
I think I can even see it with Frankie on a day where she gets the screen. She's just that much more impatient. And how can you compete with these vibrant colors and the background changing and things popping up and the music and
And the scary thing is
it's going to make sitting in the corner playing with tackle box nothing.
And at that age when all those synapses are connecting, it's one thing for us to become addicted to something at our age, but for like a kid to like have to process that stuff, like that's going to stay with them for a long time. You know?
And even at our age, how difficult it is to step away from it. Like you can acknowledge that you're addicted to the screen, but like what we have to do to put it over there and not
way
use
more
it.
effort.
Yeah.
Way more effort.
But I do think that we're not trying to avoid addiction to a screen. Like that's not why we're doing it. We're really doing it out of this idea of like, how long can we prolong his creativity?
Love it.
Yeah, for sure. That's the impulse. It's just like, let's let his mind develop how it would, you know, naturally in nature and with the people and personalities surrounding him, as opposed to, an outer force that is, like you're saying with Coco Melon. I mean, it's a team of people who've developed literally a formula for this intoxication.
But also a big thing is it's community, because we're fortunate because our school like doesn't like they tell you when you go there, like, we don't want you to show your kids screens. They're not allowed to wear characters on their shirts to school. Like there's because kids, it's not about they're going to be influenced by so many things besides you as parents.
Totally.
I love this school.
I mean, there's the whole, the book, The Anxious Generation, Jonathan Haidt. Have you heard of that book?
No.
It's like a really popular book, and a lot of schools are adopting
A really
it
popular book you guys haven't heard of.
Well, you're not at that age yet with Frankie, but a lot of schools are adopting it, and not just Waldorf schools, but it's all about all the studies that have just shown how the introduction, like the iPhone, basically correlates with like all these rises in ADHD and all these things.
And also just insecurity.
Yeah.
You know, all of the,
especially with females. Yeah.
Yeah. Just if you're raised on social media, you're just that much more predisposed to depression and things like that.
Totally.
I mean, they say in the book.
We don't need studies to understand
Yeah,
that.
no,
Like it's very
we
obvious.
feel it.
I feel it as
Exactly.
as a 35-year-old man.
Exactly.
I'm 33. I don't know why I said that.
I was going to say, I'm like, okay, he's 35.
Just to tie it back to the pressure of money and stuff like that, I think it's such a shining light. Like, I would invest in Moon. Moon is going to be Elton John. Like, just spend all your money, dude.
Yeah.
By the time Moon's 16, he's going to be like the most creative genius of all time.
Yeah, no, I think so. I mean, for sure. I think the investment of time and the money we spend on just daily experiences is more important to me than like the number in the bank account, So I think we are really prizing experiences, although that's what everyone's saying about their boomer parents who are like eating through their inheritance because they're just like going on trips and whatever. But yes, we're investing all in.
No pressure, Moon. You take your time, but we know you're going to flourish.
He's going to be, I don't know what he's going to be, but I also don't want him to feel like he has to.
Yeah, he doesn't have to be
anything. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's like that thing. Like everyone asks kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's like, excuse me.
I know.
That is way.
What university are you going to go to? University?
I'm 7.
Yeah. Seriously.
I got to take philosophy?
I've loved that this conversation has been nothing about business, but I
know.
do want to ask you about your furniture line because I'm getting the bed frame. I'm so excited.
Well, we're sending you one. Stop.
I want to support you. And I'm just looking around. I know this is like your bestseller.
Yes.
Everything is so beautiful. I want to know just about like what this creative outlet has meant to you guys, how it feels to shift a little bit more from just creating. I know you've wrapped it all in together. Like you're doing the thing and you're making videos, and I saw you on the streets, which Eamon does a lot for our tea company.
Love that.
Yeah.
You were like, oh, you
did
guys
you film
are
that in Hawaii?
Adventurous. And yeah, we did.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
Oh, Eamon asked people to call people and call someone they haven't talked to in a while and say that they love them on the streets, because our tea company is all about connection and like what he's willing to, the rejections he
know,
gets.
but he's a salesman. I'm like
You
way
are too.
No, you're so natural.
Oh, thank you.
It went great.
Yeah, it was
Nice.
incredible.
But yeah, there was
Was
no,
that one day of shooting?
There was no no's.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You got
There
some
was no
amazing
no's.
people.
I mean,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
giving
yeah.
a very huge gift.
No, I know.
I'm just offering him a bag of tea. Like, you want a couch?
Yeah, we had a couple of people that didn't ultimately want to like go through because they didn't want to be like on the episode, but no one didn't have the conversation with you. Like, it wasn't like anyone was just like, get out of here. You know?
No, I know. Yeah, no, I was the fear of rejection was real. But I think like it is cool to have a tangible product for people to experience. I mean, we've been online for so long and you're always talking in these sort of amorphous things, right? About the ideas and, oh, you could get this and whatever. So to have actually something that we're like that we designed and we thought through, and like we can show people how to style and all that stuff is like a really cool just next step for all the hours of decorating elsewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's we want all of our stuff to be like helpful. Like a core thing in our brand is like, you know, affordability and being helpful in people's homes and things like that. And so yeah.
How about your coffee table that went viral?
I know, it's so cool, right?
It's like a coffee table that literally lifts up and you got all your little stuff in there, and then you can close it if you're got people coming over. It's nice, clean
Well,
top.
It takes so much for him to be impressed by things like that.
I
And he was
why
like,
don't all
that's
coffee tables have that?
dope.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, right? Because we always ate our dinners on our coffee table.
Right.
Well, before now that we have a kid, we sit down with the meal. But when we were working on our laptops at the same time as eating dinner, at the same time as watching Game of Thrones, yeah, on the coffee table.
Nice.
So to be
Love
able
it.
to,
So
We'll
is
send
it
you one of those
MrKate.com?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
So what is the, like, I think of the logistics of tea, and we package it in like these teeny tiny, like how do you ship furniture around the,
Yeah.
And on Amazon, Wayfair.
you guys are
Where else are you? You're in
crushing.
like the major, the big
yeah,
dogs.
yeah, all
Pretty much
Bed
everywhere.
Bath and Beyond, and
I mean, it all comes from like central warehouses, you know, like.
So did you partner with someone like in the company?
Does Amazon
Yeah.
fulfill it?
It's a mix.
yeah, some
So-
of the best sellers they'll buy like a big bulk
Mm.
of and fulfill it through Amazon. But yeah, there's like a drop ship basically warehouse.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a big operation.
Yeah.
Big.
What do you guys do for that? Do you have a warehouse? Like you have a
We have a warehouse in Canada. All the tea is imported to Canada, blended in Canada, packaged in Canada, and then we send it to a warehouse facility in Central America, USA, and then it's distributed in USA. We're mainly in the USA, but then international orders are fulfilled from Canada.
Gotcha. And you guys are only direct to consumer on your site, or do you
Yeah.
sell? Yeah.
Yeah, when we did Chaiwala, that was originally we were selling to cafes, and we were just chai, and we sold to like 70 cafe partners in and around Toronto. And we were really happy with that business, but because it was just chai, there was a lot of turnover, and then COVID happened, and they all
Shut down and streamlined.
made their wallets a lot smaller, and then they got rid of our chai, and so we wanted to stick to direct to consumer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. No, the whole like business side of things is a whole different ball of wax. But I think that's why, like I was saying before, you really just try to infuse the same care and energy that you took creating the content and the stories that you shared into your products. Like it's
Yeah,
an
and it's so
extension
natural.
of your
It doesn't even
story.
feel like an ad read. 'Cause
No,
it's just
oh
like,
my God,
check
yeah.
out this beautiful bed.
Yeah, well, that's what we hope. I mean, obviously, it can
it's
be a
doing
little
great.
nauseating at times when you see people, but
I
it
heard
is
you
a
say that in one of your
genuine-
episodes. It's like you didn't want to like over promote it,
I
but it doesn't feel like that.
No,
Okay,
I
good.
think that's
it's
why
it's actually so
epic.
cool.
Yeah.
It's like holy shit, they have their own freaking bed.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I think you gotta own it a bit more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, even your episode yesterday, I watched it and you were like, and then we're going to put this, like you just say the name of the coffee table or the TV stand, and it's so stunning. And it's just like, I want it. If you didn't
Okay.
say it, I'd be like, well, give me more information.
Yeah.
You're doing
No,
a great
I know.
job.
See, you guys are both marketers, though. I'm like, I don't have that bone. That's a good bone to have.
You feel like you're overselling, like you're too salesy.
Not that it's too.
We've been
salesy.
side waving through that whole thing. Sometimes
Yeah.
we feel it, but recently I think we've embraced it more. Like when we first came out with it, it was pretty lightly.
I just want
Yeah.
people to understand that, like, I actually care about these things that I'm talking about, that I'm not just trying to get someone to the end point of spending the money, you know? Like, I've always really felt accountable to authenticity and believing what I'm saying. And so I just keep wanting to make sure I invest that energy into all the stuff that I'm saying, which I do, but it's just, I just want it to be a palatable dose.
It's
for
palatable
everybody.
and it's
Okay.
delicious.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
We didn't even get into delulu, but I heard you say delulu a few times and I was like, this is my kind of girl. She's a little delulu about things.
Oh my God, I am so delulu.
You have to be delulu. You literally have to be delulu to be for all four of us to be sitting here today and to have had the experiences we've had, you have to have this healthy dose of delusion. I really think.
Yeah.
Like you have to believe in yourself before anyone understands. Like when I was like, we're going to move into a van and we're going to go to Mexico and we're going to film it every day. Like the people in our lives were like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I just see it. I can just see that people are going to watch it. And it's going to be fun.
Yeah. It's a confidence level. People have always asked, like, how do you come up with the things that you do? And I really always say it's just like I decide what I think could look cool, coming back to the outfits, and then I just want to see it in real life. So it's just like it is the follow through of confidence in your impulses.
Mr. Kate, other products coming? You guys do like wallpapers, you do
I love all of it.
Yes,
so much.
beds,
thank
couches,
you.
So much.
anything
Guys,
like dream
anything you
products?
want for your projects, let us know. Because yes, we have
Thank
peel and
you.
stick wallpaper, which is a mix of things that I paint or draw.
Dope.
So cool.
Like all those ladies.
I know, she
I
drew them all.
those.
Wow.
They're my astrological.
Which
Can I
one's
get one of those
Cancer?
tattooed on me?
I know, aren't they so cool?
He's being pretty
I'm
serious.
serious.
Yes,
He's
of
in
Mr.
this
Kate
tattoo
tattoo?
hunger phase. Like he
Sick.
just wants more and more.
I know tattoos are addictive. Wait, did
Have you seen
Cancer?
hers that says a tattoo?
Oh wait, I think
Yeah.
Cancer's behind that. Why? Oh no, that's.
Oh,
Scorpio.
you have
Scorpio's up
one
there.
little dude there.
Oh yeah, that's my little girl with big ideas.
Oh, cute.
Oh.
So I drew her, and then Dr. Wu, who's like an LA tattoo artist that you now can't get an appointment with because he's.
Mine's Mr. Koo.
Oh really?
Yeah. I actually thought she was like making a joke. I'm like, how does she know you're tattoo artist?
I know. Koo versus Woo. Koo also you can't get an appointment with.
Yeah.
He actually fled to like Hong Kong. He's gone.
Oh,
I'm like,
really?
great,
Yeah.
Koo. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's no. I love tattoos too. They're so fun. It's such
Yeah.
a fun form of expression. But yeah, we try to like paint the wallpaper and just it's renter friendly. It's helpful.
It's unique.
It's
Yeah.
unique. It's just a way to express yourself. 'Cause
What was the bed we had? It was the blue one.
Daphne something. It's like the one that's like fluted kind of on the
Kind of the
top.
same
Yeah.
color as your
Beautiful.
dress.
Yeah.
I
And
Yeah,
love
we
that.
have
the-
all we have like all furniture.
I actually had it
Beds,
in ivory in the
Side
corner.
tables.
side
Mhm.
tables,
Mhm.
Yeah.
coffee tables, everything.
Yeah.
We were listening to an episode where you were talking about how Ariana Grande was kind of almost getting shaped by
Yeah.
a manager
Mhm.
about her look and her
vision,
style.
yeah.
And I wanted to maybe ask about how you let or inspire Moon to dress. If, he decides to buy a pink backpack or a purple backpack.
He has a pink water bottle, which he picked out himself. And he came home the other day and told me, one of his friends said, "That's a girl color. Why do you have that?"
Interesting.
And we talked about how no color is, exclusive to a gender. And actually, historically, in the 1920s, little boys were dressed in pink. And I think girls were dressed in yellow. But anyways, you got to understand the history.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly,
again,
Moon.
But no,
and again, it's like a school choice thing because like it's that times like 100 at most schools,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think if you got, I don't know, more than one opinion, maybe it would make him not want to bring his
So
pink
there
water
were a
bottle.
bunch of different colored water bottles. You said, which one do you want, Moon?
Yeah.
And he grabbed the pink
Oh,
I
yeah.
showed him
Yeah.
the Amazon listing. We're trying to switch to glass water bottles.
Oh, I heard about. Mhm.
He's an incredible
Always
dresser.
things to
And he
change,
picks
isn't
the
there?
pink-
Everything's killing you, if you didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know.
Everything's toxic.
No, I mean, I usually buy clothes for him, but then because he doesn't really care what he wears at this point, he's 5, but he's just started to express some dissension sometimes when I put him. I hate black. I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Mm.
So what color?
But I
so
think
then I'll let him.
your
pick,
question
but-
is almost more about like, do we help him with social guardrails?
I guess it's more of like, it's such an interesting thing to navigate as a kid where you want to protect them in certain situations.
Yeah.
But you also you don't want to limit their creativity.
Yeah,
and
he was rainbow bright for Halloween last year.
Oh yeah.
Which like your instinct as a parent is you go, I hope.
Talk about a character. It was because he saw a video from the 80s. My 3rd birthday, I had Rainbow Bright, the character, come to my birthday.
Do you know
I
who
don't
this
know
is?
who
I
Rainbow
don't.
Bright
Are we
is.
living under a rock?
No, you're
Generational
younger than us.
thing.
You can look it up. It's like an 80s cartoon character with like purple.
She was
and-
like a superhero.
She was a superhero.
Cool.
Mm.
But he
who had
looked
like
at her and
unicorns
said,
is like her like.
He's like, that's what I want to be. So
Mm.
And
There
you have
was-
and as a parent you have that instinct. You go, I hope none of the other kids say anything, which none of them did.
Thankfully, they didn't. Yeah, they were all like 4. But yeah, every other one of his male friends was like
Spider-Man.
Yeah, Ninja Turtle or like a SWAT team.
I think he's gonna get. I think he's gonna get the effort that Kate is putting in on the creativity front with him. The payoff for that is going to be that he's going to be more like how Kate is with that stuff, and he's not going to care what people think.
Yeah, it's who he is.
So this is our last segment. We have a game called Real Talk. So each of our packages now, I know you were a Chaiwala purchaser, but with Habit,
we're going to convert you again.
with the conversation card. So we just pull a card and we get even deeper than we've been getting. So
is that even
this would be fun to play with Moon. He loves these types of games.
They're pretty deep.
You just like go at the dinner table.
So you sell these cards?
Yeah.
So every package goes out with just one, and they get a free conversation card.
So the idea is like, don't just have tea. Like make it a moment, even if it's like a journaling. Like, what are you grateful for? Like,
we're not that passionate about tea. We love tea, but we're passionate about like human connection.
What it inspires.
And tea is like a catalyst. Sitting down, having a cup of tea. And this is what's really amazing.
Cool. I so identify with that. That's to me like a couch. It's a couch. There's so many options, but this is the couch that we really think is going to bring, the family together.
We should partner. We should do like a Habit couch.
A Habit couch.
Or
like something I love. And we
Let's
have
talk about that.
Or the coffee table.
Yes.
The tea drinking coffee.
I'm so down.
Yeah, I love that. If you had to rename yourself, what name would you choose?
Oh, good. You go.
Neither of you, like, I guess Mr. Kate is really fun. I love that you did that. And I'm sure there's like a whole story behind it. But Kate feels almost like a normal name, if you know what I mean.
So normal, which is why I chose Mr. Kate.
Exactly. So you kind of have renamed yourself already.
Yeah. It's like a twist on the norm. I mean, I love like redefining normal. Like, what does normal mean to you? So having Mr. in front of the Kate was just always like gave people a pause. Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Which of course now a lot of people think he's the Mr. and I'm the Kate, which we don't necessarily correct because it is cute too. But no,
but it was you on your own.
It was me. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. But another name, I don't know. I mean, we picked a unusual name for our child.
I know. I can't wait for the female.
I know. We're gonna do a name reveal soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You have it picked?
Yeah, we have it picked.
Did you have it picked like early days?
We've had it picked for a little bit.
Yeah, for a bit. Yeah.
Isn't it a lot of pressure naming a kid?
Well, also it's it's like okay, because on our first kid we made an animation about what his name was.
Well, he's talking about now the pressure of the content
of
the
like,
reveal of the name.
Now we're trying to like write a song.
Let's go.
I love it.
He's got his ukulele and he's been like trying to write lyrics with Moon while Moon's taking his nighttime outdoor shower. Moon showers.
Did Moon participate in the naming? Like, is he on board?
He did inspire a bit. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That is one of my favorite things I've been doing lately, and it feels very Hawaii. Is like, well, we shower outside, so like I shower every morning.
Your
outside.
shower is dream-worthy.
Oh,
which one are you talking about?
The outdoor shower with the fancy glass that you put in. Yeah. Wait, which one are you talking about? No.
Oh,
just on the internet.
But
I would love to see it in person.
We'll show you.
We have three outdoor showers.
Oh wow.
But Moon showers outside at night, and I play the ukulele
we have a bathroom.
while he's showering, and we just like make up songs about what
God.
happened during the day.
What a dream.
It's
wow.
so cool.
Yeah.
That is epic.
But that's also like it's natural, but it's also effort because I know that like that's going to be something that's going to like stick with him.
100%.
Well, yeah, and it would be a time where you could just have him be solo in the bath. But the fact
I could be inside scrolling or whatever.
Yeah.
I love it.
We're not answering the question. What's your name?
What's your new name?
I don't have a different name. I mean, my real name is Joel, and I always have called myself Joey. So like, I've already sort of renamed myself because I'm not a Joel. I feel like
you're really a Joey.
Yeah, me too.
You kind of give me like the Joey Friends vibe, like just like a good all-rounder guy.
Easy going.
I don't know if that's
thick
offensive
eyebrows.
At all. No, he's funny. He's a little.
He's my favorite character.
Yeah.
Goofy. You're goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. assignment.
Okay, so you're just Joey. I don't. Yeah,
Mr. K.
I don't know.
Come on,
Minty.
guys. Mindy.
Minty.
Oh, Minty.
Oh, Minty.
Another twist. It could be Mindy, really chill, or it could be Minty. I love it.
Where did that come from?
No, I
love
don't.
it.
I did. I was in
His
a.
color
I was
on
in
his
the.
shirt. I was just.
I was in the moped
Embody it.
army once when I was in college. It was like an
The
actual
moped
thing called
army?
the moped army. It was like an all like me.
So moped.
No, my name was Joey Wonder. That was like my name in the
Okay,
moped
but that's
army.
like an extension of your name. Just say moped.
Okay, fine.
Moped and Minty.
Love it.
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
Good to meet you guys. I don't remember what you've chosen before. I chose the name Sloan because I just.
Oh,
really-
that's chic.
I like
love
it, and I think it kind of
see. That's a good answer. I gave Minty out of
It's
just
okay.
a random. Okay.
It also sounds like you're saying mint tea, which is just another plug for habit. So
Yep.
there you
Our
go.
mint tea is delicious.
Yeah, see that tea
Yeah.
inspired names.
Thank you,
That's what you
girlfriend.
should
Yeah,
ask.
yeah, yeah.
What tea inspired names?
Okay, and did you choose a name? You were like Connor or something really. No.
Alex, I thought was cool, but it's not me. Like I actually
Your
love my
name.
name.
Normal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Eamon
yeah.
is really cool.
Name.
Like if you don't know how to say it, it's cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, how do you say your name?
Yeah.
I
Can
like
we
guy
Can
names
we
for
reveal
girls.
the name to you guys? And
bleep it?
Bleep it.
no, maybe, but also then potentially use it in our name reveal episode.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Because basically we're like doing like a
That'd be
compilation of
fun.
telling
Yes.
people the name.
Yes.
We're like, and we have to FaceTime all of our family members. We don't
But
get
we're
like in person.
Yes. Okay. Is it
Okay.
happening now?
Yeah.
Are you gonna sing the
no,
note?
no. I'm not gonna
Sing, sing.
No. But
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
we're like such nerds. But you know what?
I love
Cringy is like a staple of our brand.
I don't
Yeah.
find that at all.
Yeah.
Maybe it's so cringy that it's cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Like,
what
'cause you
we've
guys are
always
so
That's what
thrown
we're hoping
ourselves
for.
into, yeah.
Also, this
Past
hasn't
cringe.
this hasn't gone through
That's
Kate's rhyming refinement yet. A lot
Okay.
of times when I write things, my rhymes are like completely like not
No,
acceptable.
they're fine.
Like I'll rhyme things that aren't allowed to rhyme, and she'll be like, "That doesn't rhyme."
No, but isn't that what makes a musician? I
Yeah.
feel like that's
Yeah.
what's cool.
Okay, so one day a guy asked a girl to run away to chase their dreams and what it means to make a family. They tried their best to make their home into a nest, to add another to their mess of love and creativity.
Mm.
They had a boy. He brought the world a world of joy. They named him Moon and loved him more than any other thing. Or we could say bigger than a galaxy. I haven't decided yet. We haven't decided.
There's a lot of things crossed out.
Yeah. If the three could make it four, or the three could make it four, if fate would open up that door. And when the good news came to say that a girl was on her way, it was written in the stars that a mom, dad, and son named Moon get a girl named Mars.
Love.
Mars is actually on our list.
Mars is on our
no,
You stole our name.
No, I
Love it.
love
Yeah. No, it's really cute.
It's great,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
I was shocked that it would be a name that even came across our.
I'm brutally
radar.
honest too. I would have said something, but like I would have been like,
We've
not my
had
taste.
friends name kids and be like, he's like, you have to call them. Like they haven't considered the nickname she's gonna get bullied with. I'm like, babe,
Oh yeah, the
it's
nicknames.
their kid. You know.
There was a lot of pushback when we named Moon, and it's like it's the perfect name for him,
Yeah.
and
You get
he
to know him,
thrives
yeah.
in that name. And like,
Mm.
Okay.
One
The
more.
flip of this is, how do you feel about your relationship with your parental figures, with your parents? Why did we name it parental figures?
Complicated for sure, for
Mhm.
sure. I feel like I've learned a lot of how to do things, but maybe more so how to do things differently from my
Mhm.
parental figures. And I think they would probably say the same. I feel like they're pretty
Say the same about their parents?
no,
Or-
say the
Right there.
same about like wanting me to do differently than
Oh,
them
that's
in
beautiful.
some ways. Yeah. Yeah. It's taken a bit to get there, but yeah, it's complicated. I would say definitely a lot of the therapy that I've had was surrounding things that came up, you know, during my childhood and stuff like that. So yeah, I think maybe that is another reason why I'm so darn invested and putting so much pressure on motherhood to just try to like do it differently.
Your parents are divorced?
They're divorced. Yeah.
Was there like a lot of fighting and stuff in the house, or was
There
it?
was, yeah. I mean, I think the biggest thing, honestly, is like, and kind of to your experience of like the caretaker role and just how much pressure you end up feeling. I was in a lot of ways a caretaker of my parents from a young age, just personality wise. And I think that's what drove me to be hold myself to a standard because I felt like I was the only one sort of
Validating.
Yeah, like no one ever told me to do homework. No one ever like.
I see. You became the parent.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, in a lot of ways. So
Mhm.
I think that really influenced just like my being hard on myself because like I was the adult and the kid at the same time.
I want you to know from like what I know about you from your online presence, which I know is not you, you know, in your full expression of you. You are such an incredible mother.
Oh, thank you.
I take so much inspiration from you as a mom. You are doing so many things just so right. So just keep going.
You are too.
Be like less hard on yourself, you know?
Yeah, I know. We all need to be.
We
That
all
is
need
so
to be.
my mantra with any other moms because I know we even spout about the screen free and the whatever, and I don't want to be the cause of any guilt on any other moms listening. I feel that. Yes. You know, it's like an example of things you could try if you feel like it. Yeah. But you're doing great.
Yes.
Regardless.
1,000%. That is so important to caveat with all of this, I think. Like when we share our lives, it's just a highlight reel. And that's why we like the podcast, because we can share like what it is we're struggling with or navigating, and it just be a lot more, there's more space to be even more honest and authentic. It's not that we're not showing up authentically. It's that sometimes there's not space in a YouTube video for that, right?
No, 100%. The conversation needs to be, you need to take the time. Yeah. Take the time to talk about the things. Yeah.
Yeah. Joey, do you want to answer about your relationship with your parents?
I mean, I think that like just my thing and bringing it back to what we talked about earlier is like, I'm just putting in the effort. I have a fine relationship with my parents, nothing extremely close. I want to have like an extreme closeness with my kid when they're older. So I'm just putting in the effort now to establish that's sort of what happens in the future. And I think it will. Yeah.
Of course it will.
Beautiful.
I love it. You guys, this has been so much fun.
Yay!
I am also an introvert. People don't think that because I'm like obsessed with this forum and because we put ourselves online. And surface level conversations really do drain me. I'll like walk away and be like, ooh. And this is like draining, but so fun. And it like fulfills me. And it's like, what the heck was that just too? Like Andrew's like having a nap on the couch at this point.
Andrew's exhausted.
It was just
I can't believe your cameras haven't burnt out, overheated.
Yeah, he's all over it.
No, well, thank you guys. This exceeded my expectations because you never know sitting down to talk to two people for 2 hours.
And thank you for inviting us into your home as well and letting us set this all up.
Yeah. Thank you. Talk about my introvert side. Really appreciates that I didn't have to go anywhere. I like hosting.
It was perfect.
All right. Well, go follow Mr. Kate and
buy the Daphne bed.
Yeah.
Check out their site.
Thank you.
All right. So let's eat lunch and then we're going to interview you guys for just like 20 minutes.
Let's do it.
Cool. Alrighty. Peace.
Peace.